Hello and welcome. This is going to be my guide to your winter weather gear. Now everybody's different, you'll all have a preference on make. You might want to go for the cheapest, you might want to go for the most expensive. Do what you do in that sense. This is just what I wear and this is just what works for me. So it might help you in making your choice for what's right for you. But I just thought I'd show you all of this because I've gone through 2 winters now. I am an all-weather rider. I'm quite crazy and I will ride in all weathers. This is the gear I essentially use, and I use most of this gear here every single day in the autumn, winter and some of the spring too. It's quite a hot April day today, which is quite bizarre. There's still a bit of a chill. I'd be more than happy wearing all of this. Maybe not the base layers, but I'll start at the very bottom. The boots I normally wear are these. They are the BMW touring boots. I've had them since October 2013. Haven't had any problems with them, despite me putting locks on my bike and things like that. There's a bit of marking on the toe area, but where I sometimes am lazy and pull my boots off, there's a little bit of marking there maybe. The Velcro has come apart from the front, so I've had to put some Gorilla Glue in there. You could colour that off or you could shave it if you really wanted to, just to sharpen it up, but that's completely up to you. They're Gore-Tex, my feet have never been wet in them, they haven't really been cold in them either, so that's what I wear. It's good to have some kind of touring boots for winter that keep your feet warm and protected from the conditions. So socks wise, I'm not really a big fan of getting specific socks and things, however I do own a pair of Dainese kind of like super duper socks. I don't know whether they're improving my, I say lap times, I'm not sure, but they feel nice and they're okay. Normally I can get away with just bog standard white ones. They're fine, but it depends on the boot obviously as well. Trousers, I've got some BMW Torshell trousers. I go for textile gear in the winter. You can of course go for leather gear, but you'll be more protected from the elements with textile, and I don't think personally it's any less safer. The technology that goes into these now is just brilliant. They've got all the big padding that you'd have on the hips and the knees that you would have in your leathers. Want to really be going around corners with your knee down, well, especially not in the cold weather. But these are just them. They don't really have a liner in them, so they're just a pair of textile trousers, which are quite surprising because Dainese, they have a removable liner normally, which is great, but yeah, they're waterproof, keep you warm. So I've got a Torshell jacket there, similar to the trousers. It's the same kind of thing. It's a Torshell jacket, you know, keeps you really, really warm in the winter, gets rid of all the wind, keeps you dry, haven't really ever been wet through it, and it's got vents as well, so you could ride it just on its own in the summer, which I did do for most of the summer last year. Inside you do get a liner with it. If you want more information about these products, just click on my individual reviews. I'll go through all the products in depth, but this does have a liner in, can be worn as an external jacket, it can even be folded within its own, one of its own pockets and just carried separately if you so wish. But the jacket, very decent, it's got all the padding and things in all the right places. Helmet, winter riding, I much prefer a helmet that can be seen. You're in all your big baggy winter gear anyway, there's not really much point in trying to look cool or looking good, especially when it's minus out or whatever. High vis kind of helmet, that helps. I've gone for a white one, and I prefer the touring type of helmet in the winter too. And also, in case you fall off as well, it's going to be easier for you not to get that claustrophobic feeling just by pulling up the visor itself, the chin part itself. It's easier for buying things as well, petrol stations and things. You don't normally have to take your helmet off, you can just open that up, people can see your face, cameras can, you know, it's all good. I prefer this, you know, for kind of winter riding and commuting as well. The camera I've got on there, I've got the Drift Ghost S. I use that for most of my moto vlogging. If you hear me talk, I'm using that camera. I've got another camera that I will use commuting every day, which is the Stealth 2. I'll just put that on there. You can't put a mic in it. I will be putting the review up on this very, very soon. I'm going to do it after this video, so you'll be able to finally get my views on this. It's a long time coming. But yeah, I just need something that doesn't weigh very much. You can just bung on there, It's kind of water resistant to a point, and it just records the footage for insurance purposes, YouTube purposes, you name it. That's pretty much all of the kind of basic gear I normally wear. I'll talk to you now about base layers. Did mention socks a little bit, but I'll talk to you about base layers and alternatives to the liner. Now I'll talk about neck protection, gloves, and finally fluorescent jackets. So base wear, what I've got is long johns, whatever. You know, you might laugh at them, but they do their job well. I use Dainese base layers. They're quite expensive. I'd say they're like, what, £40, £50 per one of these. So you do pay a bit of a premium, but they've got all the right stretch panels and things. They are super warm, and you can get away with wearing these and your textiles in cold weather. Your legs will stay warm. Same for your top, your torso. You can wear this to go out in cold weather. You're fine just wearing those two base layers, trousers, the inner liner of the jacket and the jacket, your gloves and your boots. Absolutely fine. But if you want to step it up a bit further, instead of the liner, you can have one of these dedicated no wind Dainese, completely windproof. It's even got little tabs to keep on your thumbs or whatnot. Retention hoops, I'd call them. It's got pockets and all kinds of good things. So you could put that in there instead. Also, you can touch it up even further and have like a thermal layer, one of these, and then the jacket. So this would normally go above your thermal layer, and then you put your jacket. So it really depends. You've got plenty of options here. So that's another kind of thermal type of layer. And these are the alternative to these are a bit too big for me actually, I'm not this big anymore. But yeah, these you could just wear underneath the textiles too, instead of that close knitting thermal wear. So they're a bit baggy, a bit more airy, and they're not as close fitting. These are kind of like an alternative you can wear under your textiles. These two close fitting ones you can wear under your leathers. They're not going to affect you at all. If it's a bit chilly out, you can put the trousers under the leathers, you can put this under your leather jacket, and then put like this wind protector. I will put these products in with my kind of summer weather riding guide too, just so you get a bit of a contrast. But that's all your base layers kind of sorted. A lot of people will just wear different types, different makes of thermal gear. They won't go for motorcycle specific stuff, which is fine, absolutely fine, whatever works for you. But that's just what I use, what I'm used to. So I'll talk a little bit about neck protection. So neck protection, what I've got here is I've got 3 different types. Hope you can see them. I've got one of these which is like an Alpine Stars. It just goes around your neck. It's kind of windproof material. It's got some holes if you wanted to put it up above your nose and breathe through the holes. It's quite basic, does the job, great value. You got this, which many people have seen in bike shops these days. It's a bit dusty because I don't use it. This is a buff. It's one of the earliest buffs actually. That's what they call it, or a neck tube, whatever you want to call it, whatever works for you. So obviously that is semi-windproof. That'll protect your neck. Just that little bit of your neck that isn't covered by the helmet and your jacket. And finally, the big daddy of them all, the piece de la resistance. This will protect your head and your neck above anything. You won't need anything underneath this. This is more than enough for any winter. Usually other parts of my body, my neck has never felt cold when wearing this. Other parts of my body have. So that's a testament to how great this is. You can put it all the way up above your mouth and you can still breathe out. But what I like to do is have this bit just slightly under my nose, so I can breathe through my nose, and plenty of room in all your helmets. I wear quite a tight fitting shoey helmet sometimes, and there's enough room for this and your head in a tight helmet too. But it's completely windproof. It's a complete wind stopper. So that's a Dainese version. Right, I'll talk about gloves. You've got different types of gloves obviously. For the summer guide I will show you my Dainese gloves that I've got, but for winter you can kind of have a cross between, like I've said, face to face. You can have these gloves, but make sure you've got your heated grips as well, because they're not going to be just sufficient for your winter. and they're kind of thinnish. They don't offer an awful lot of knuckle protection. There's just these foamy pads. But they're more than adequate. And if it gets too chilly, even with your heated grips, if you don't have heated grips, you can always buy a pair of these silk inner liners. Put these on, which are about 20 quid, under your main gloves, and that'll just take the edge off. Really useful. I have these in my jacket at all times, just in case. Also, you can wear these, you know, when you stop somewhere if you need to. And then you've got these type of gloves, which are quite big, beefy, very thermal, pretty waterproof, but your hands are going to sweat like anything in them. I'd prefer to wear thinner gloves so I can feel more of the bike and obviously respond to the bike, than thicker gloves and not really be able to feel that much. If you ride bikes, you know what I'm kind of talking about. And then finally, which is very important too, you know, jackets, fluorescent jackets. Do you wear a fluorescent jacket? They're the two that I've got. If you haven't already, watch my fluorescent jacket video. I'll have put that up before this video, just showing you the two types of fluorescent jackets that I wear. I've got this Polite Notice Think bike jacket. Looks a little bit like a police jacket, a bit cheeky, but you'd be surprised at how many people think you're a policeman and they slow down and they actually look for you, which is bizarre because they should be looking for you anyway, regardless of whether you're a police officer or another human. They should be looking for you all the time. It does stagger me. I've never had a single incident with this jacket. They see you quicker, they respond, they slow down. You can wear your traditional type of jacket too. I wouldn't really wear those kind of jackets on a day like today where it's high visibility, clear, dry, sun shining, not really needed, because it's just not needed really. You know, you're in high visibility anyway. I would wear the fluorescent jackets when it's low visibility or at night. They do help, because when car drivers are going along, they're normally only seeing some of your reflectors, and it depends on what angle they're viewing your bike at. The rear, they'll see that red tail light. The front, they'll see one of your lights, if not your main beam. But every other angle, it depends on your helmet and your fluorescent jacket and your gloves and what part of your jacket and things is reflective and stands out. So, this is basically what I wear, my winter gear. I've got the internal sun visor. Obviously that's the visor. You can hear echoey, the voice is a bit better like that. Check out my review of this helmet. It's the BMW Evo 6 series. It's got vents on the top, vents on the front. You can open it up like so. So it's one of those flip up helmets. I've also got my camera on the side, got my gloves on, which are the BMW Atlantis 3 gloves. The Velcro is wearing a bit now. I haven't had them 2 years, I've had them about a year and a half, so just bear that in mind. But the front Velcro, which you're not really using too much, is that's fine. The zips held up, the waterproof has held up, even though in the summer of last year I soaked them completely in water and gave them a really good clean inside and out. Winter gloves, they're not really winter gloves, I wouldn't say. I'd say they're kind of autumn, definitely wet weather gloves, definitely. Your fingers don't really get wet at all. They keep your hands warm-ish. With heat, you combine heated grips with these and you'll have no problems all through the winter. But if you have just these and no heated grips, then you're probably going to struggle a little bit. So helmet, gloves, jacket. I'm wearing this fluorescent thing. I'll have a fluorescent jacket on during the winter, but I might not have it on all the time. So if I'm not wearing the jacket, the fluorescent jacket, I just wear my textile BMW jacket. Inside, I normally have the liner in. I'm not wearing it right now, just get too hot. And then I've got the tortoise trousers, so tortoise jacket, tortoise trousers, and I've got the BMW touring boots, which are Gore-Tex. I've had all of this gear for year and a half. I wore it last summer before I had all my Dainese leather gear. It's held well. It was a bit too hot, especially the gloves in the summer, so
but the jacket wasn't too hot with the vents open. It's got vents on the front and rear. It's got plenty of protection. You've got your normal elbow, shoulder, and you've got a huge back protector, and that's the same for this side as well. You've got knee kind of protectors that go all the way to the boot, quite long, and you've got big hip pad protectors too. One thing I will say about the gloves is that on the left hand side you've got this window wiper, which is incredibly useful. I think they should have that on all gloves. Yeah, maybe not your racing gloves, but anyway, so that's all of the suit that I normally wear in the winter. Keeps me nice and warm. You'll see inside, I'll go through each piece again, or will have gone through each piece again, so you'll see the thermal things that I wear underneath this too. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you this this winter gear on me, basically.
So that's kind of the end of my exhaustive guide to winter weather riding, winter weather gear. I hope you've taken something from this video. Hope it has been useful for you. This is just what works for me. I can't reiterate that enough. Things that work for me might not work for you. You might be a fella that gets way too hot in thermal gear. You might be a skinny fella that gets cold really easily, so you might need more layers, especially with the gloves and the neck tubes, things like that. I hope there's something for everyone in this video, and I hope you've gained something for it. I will be updating my winter gear October, November time, maybe December time, over those 3 months, with new boots, new jacket and trousers, possibly new gloves. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on some gear and upgrade it all, and obviously I'll do reviews on each product and do an update to this video. Spring is essentially here, so I don't know how much this is going to help you, but it's still a little bit chilly outside, and if anything, this will help you for autumn and winter of 2015. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Take care.